I think it's just one of the, like, this kind of feeds into that massive discussion about what's happening to music in Australia and, you know, the hottest 100, how that's changing, and the kinds of people that are voting for music. Are they gig goers? No way.
Yeah.
You know, and their exposure to music is really kind of different. It's not really influenced by live music culture at all. It's completely influenced by radio and, you know, or digital, you know, like...
That's a really good point, what you just made about how, like, whether or not they're gig goers. These days, when a venue does sell out, I would say in almost all cases, unless it's like a tiny venue like the Bird, it's sold out with people who don't normally go to gigs. It's the people who don't go to gigs who sell out gigs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. And, or, I mean, sometimes it's a big pull if it's, you know, friends and that kind of thing that haven't seen you in a while. If it's something special like a launch, that can kind of add to the numbers. But yeah, it probably is people that don't usually go. But also, I think, I mean, the festival thing has killed the image of live music for people that were around before that. I think, you know, the idea, like, every year you go to a music festival, it gets a little bit worse each time, and you could not pay me to go to one as a punter now, because it's just, you know, you can't move. People are obnoxious, like up on each other's shoulders and just going crazy.
It seems that people are there more for the branding of the festival than the actual music.
It is. And you can see that in the way that, you know, a lot of clothing shops market a festival pack. It's about the preparation of, like, what are you going to drink beforehand and with who, and what are you going to wear, and how cool are you going to look in all of the photos from the festival. What bands did you see? I don't know, maybe one or two. That's probably about it. But, you know, those massive mainstream clothing chains put together packs that have, like, a little whistle on a chain and zinc and, you know, a cap and, like, fluoro shit and beads and I don't know, all kinds of crap that no one needs. But if it's enough for a massive chain like that to be able to market a package of products to a wide audience like that, I mean, there has to be research that goes into that to be able to yield something from that product.
Yeah, I think Live,
it proves,
Live
you know,
and JJ's, those sorts
exactly,
of stores.
yeah, Cotton On, all that sort of thing.
They're feeding almost a stereotyped festival culture into people. Like, this is what you wear, this is how you act.
Yeah.
And people are going there, like I said, just for the brand of the festival. It's like their yearly pilgrimage to go crazy. Yeah. And it's nothing to do with the music, which is really sad.
Interesting point about how, like, specifically clothing chains do that. Yeah. Like, I noticed that a lot with General Pants. The way they really, really kind of, like, they've got a record label as well called, I think it might have been called Record Label, you know? And they record, I think they put out mixes and stuff, and no offense to General Pants, but, like, what they kind of create and what they sell is, like, the most offense to them, because it's the shittest product. It's the most anodyne, kind of unthinking. It's like it's not curated. It's created to fit in with a pre-existing understanding of the culture. It's like it's marketed to a mass group, and the way you do that is by constructing something that says, you're on the outside looking in at something that you need. You're on the outside, as in you're not cool. You're looking at something that is cool, and that, as we all know, is what you have to be. And this is how you can do it. Yep. And it's selling it to them on various levels. So it's not just looking cool, it's listening to the right kind of thing, going to the right kinds of places, you know? And it's the same reason that, like, clothing stores partner often with promoters as well, when acts are brought over and, you know, when special nights are on. Remember in the old days when Shape was, like, where everyone went, and they used to partner all the time with lots of, like, non-music affiliated kind of people.
Alcohol, like, you know, Jim Beam or Jack Daniels or
alcohol
whatever.
Brands, like, most, like, because there's only a few, like, companies that actually own all the brands and make them all. They will have, like, a certain product. They'll launch a certain product and say, it could be the same people that make, like, Jim Beam, something that's really associated with a certain demographic of people. Yeah. And then they'll go, okay, we're going to launch a rum that appeals to this demographic of people. So we're going to get the right kind of people to drink it. We're going to ask bands to drink it that are, you know, in the hottest 100. We're going to make sure that certain types of nights. I mean, Sailor Jerry rum is owned by one of those massive, I don't know if it's actually like Lion Nathan or one of those big ones, but it is one of them. And that's marketed as like a kind of hipster rum. It's spiced rum. It's got, you know, that whole kind of Sailor Jerry kind of vintage thing. I did a night once when Sailor Jerry gave us some rum just to hand out for free, just so that it's even things like in the photographs of the night when there's going to be a wild night and a certain promoter is putting on a certain kind of night, and you know that the kinds of people who go to it are going to be in the photos the next week from that night. And it's the photographs that sell so much about that night. The cool kids who are dressed in a certain way. And if it looks like it's a mad party and they're just swilling rum and it's your brand of rum on that, your brand, it's worth more than so many ads in so many newspapers or on so many bus stops or anything like that. It's that kind of experiential marketing.
Yeah, it's selling a culture, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. It's putting a price tag on the culture, and it's putting a by affiliating a product which, outside of the label on the bottle, has no connection whatsoever with that culture. It is no more a better product or a more delicious drink or a better pair of jeans. But by affiliating it with people who are priceless, in that the cool kids are just cool because they're cool. You know, some people have those kind of magnetic early adopter personalities that people want to follow. By putting that in their hands, you're creating, you know, you're making them your brand.
Yeah, it's like a photographic recommendation that they don't even know that they've made.
Yeah, I mean,
to a mass audience.
Tegan and I have both worked in marketing, and there's no greater place to put your money if you're marketing a product than recommendations from peers. Peer recommendation is the best thing you can have. So if all your friends are doing it, then that's worth more than $1 million of television ads. Or if you see somebody that, you know, is telling you, I really genuinely liked this, you trust it so much more than a bikini clad model on a beach. Right,
because it's direct influence from your circle of friends who you trust.
Yeah, and even though, you know, we're all pretty savvy and we know how we're being sold something, instinctively we just trust it. And it works so well with, you know, certain types of brands where you just can't help wanting it.
I think that, like, where all this comes from now is that the audience for music has become so mainstream that it's worth all these brands pouring money into these kind of campaigns that are extremely clever and cost a lot of money to do, but the market for it has become that way, and I think it's taking away the people originally that would have gone to gigs for their own pleasure, you know. And I honestly don't think that there are that many people in the world that actually just love going to gigs, you know. There are not many out there, you know, and they're absolute gems because they get people into music. They love it, they live it and breathe it, and they don't care who's there. They don't care if they have to go alone to a gig, and they don't care who sees them there or who doesn't.
You're listening to Mission Control.